to SDGs
Olá a
International
todo mundo, bem-vindos aos Objetivos Sustentáveis Globais.
live presentations. I will be hosting this session with my colleague Daniel.
Eu vou estar apresentando essa sessão com o meu colega Daniel.
We both work in the School of Economics, Finance and Accounting.
Nós somos da Faculdade de Finanças e Contabilidade,
In the Faculty of Business and Law.
a Faculdade de Lei e Negócios.
Hi, Daniel.
Oi, Daniel.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the SDGs Challenge 2021.
Bem-vindo aos Objetivos Sustentáveis Globais
As
2021.
already mentioned,
Eu já mencionei,
I am your co-host for this event,
eu sou apresentador desse
and it's
evento.
an absolute pleasure to meet everyone here today.
Encontrar todo mundo aqui hoje.
Please feel free to use the chat rooms both on Zoom and YouTube to introduce yourselves, where you are joining us from, and post your questions.
E colocar as suas perguntas aí.
Thank you, Daniel.
Obrigado, Daniel.
Is Tony on the line? I would like to invite Tony now.
Vou convidar o Tony agora.
Yes, indeed, I am here.
Eu
Okay,
estou aqui.
Tony is our Associate Head of School.
O Tony é nosso associado da escola
For global engagement,
para o engajamento global
and he will be welcoming you all.
e ele estará dando boas-vindas a vocês.
Great, thanks, Jalia. Thanks for the introduction. I want to
Obrigado
say a
pela
big
introdução.
hello to everyone
Eu gostaria de dizer um grande olá para todo mundo.
and extend my welcome to our partners from
Estender
the Ghana
minhas
Communication
boas-vindas
Technology
aos nossos
University.
nosso parceiro de Gana, nossos parceiros de comunicação e tecnologia,
Western Paraná State University in Brazil,
Universidade do Paraná, do Estado do Paraná,
Thank
Brasil.
you, Tony.
thank you, and
Obrigado.
of course our partners from the University of Pretoria.
E também a Universidade de Pretoria.
Thank you, and also extending a warm welcome
Também
to,
estou
of course,
estendendo
the participants across
as
all the
boas-vindas
partners,
aos
including
participantes
those from Coventry University.
Incluindo da Universidade de Coventry.
Yeah, so we also have mentors from University of Pretoria who are also
Também
joining
temos
us for this
mentores da
event. I want to
Universidade de
extend a warm
Pretoria.
welcome to them as well.
Gostaria de dizer boas-vindas a eles também.
And also over the past days, we've had colleagues
Também
supporting
nossos amigos
the
que deram
events, and I want to
suporte
extend a warm
ao
welcome to
evento.
them as well.
Bem-vindo a todos.
And also to our judges and an esteemed panel of
Também aos
judges,
nossos
you're very
juízes.
much welcome as well.
Bem-vindos.
And we also have some collaborators who are working with our different partners
Também
and joining us
temos
on the project, so
alguns
you're very warmly
colaboradores e
welcome as well.
parceiros. Gostaria de dar as boas-vindas a todos.
I also want to welcome the Coventry City Council, who's been really,
Também
really
gostaria
supportive across this
de
event. It's really a pleasure to have
dizer
you with
olá
us. And also, lastly, the International Climate Resilience Research Network.
também
There's quite a few of us who are in that network. I want to
a Rede
welcome the colleagues
Internacional
who
de
are within that
Pesquisa
network.
em
to this event.
Resiliência Climática e toda a nossa rede.
Coventry University continues to be very
A Universidade de
committed
Coventry
to the Sustainable Development Goals,
também estamos falando sobre os Objetivos Sustentáveis Globais,
as well as UN Principles of Responsible Management Education.
e também os diretores responsáveis pela educação.
And this is in addition to obviously fostering intercultural communication and critical thinking within students.
E também fostering intercultural communication, pensando em nossos alunos, para fomentar os estudos.
And this has been the motivation
Isso tem sido a motivação
that's made us to
que nos
hold
faz
this SDG International Challenge.
levar adiante esse desafio dos objetivos globais de sustentabilidade.
I think so far it's been quite outstanding to see the quality of the work the students are doing.
Então, até aqui, com bastante destaque, né?
Particularly the outputs, and I quite like the DMEP
Eu
portal
gostaria de
from the
destacar
Team
os
Accra.
DMV
From Team Accra.
Sorry, I couldn't understand.
Yes, the DMEP portal from Team Accra, and also the digital platform from Team Coventry, as well as the urban agricultural program from Team Paraná, with all outputs having a real core technology and sustainability focus.
O foco aqui, então, seria nas tecnologias para o desenvolvimento sustentável.
Great. Can I also remind students, as you head into your presentations, we do
Gostaria
have
de lembrar os
certificates
alunos
and
que
badges
teremos
for everyone,
certificados para todo mundo.
but also we have some, obviously, winning prizes for the winning team. So give it all
Temos
you've
também
got.
alguns prêmios para os times vencedores.
And I also, just before I hand over to Gertrude, I want to extend huge thanks to my team in Coventry, Daniel and Jalia, for doing an
Agradecimento ao time do
exceptional
Daniel.
work to put this all together. And on that note, I want to thank you all, and I want to hand over to Jalia for Gertrude. Thank you.
Agradecer a Júlia também.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you
Obrigado,
to
Daniel. Obrigado a todos.
we have Gertrude. May I please invite
Primeiro, antes de Gertrude começar, gostaria de convidar
Professor Irene
professor Irene
from Unioeste, Brazil.
Do Brasil, da Universidade do Brasil,
to share some words with us.
para compartilhar algumas palavras conosco.
Muito boa tarde a todos e a todas. Vou precisar da sua tradução, por gentileza.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Uma grande alegria, nós da Universidade Estadual do Oeste Paraná.
From the State University of Paraná.
E também da Rede Internacional de Pesquisa em Resiliência Climática.
And also from the International Climate Resilience Research Network.
Participarmos pela segunda vez deste
from the second time in this challenge.
Eu quero cumprimentar especialmente o Dr. Tony, Jalia e Daniel.
To welcome Professor Tony, sorry.
Jalia e Daniel, nossos amigos,
our friends.
E hoje de maneira especial,
and today as a special
eu gostaria de cumprimentar Frederica, que também conheci em Coventry. Conheci lá em Coventry.
She met her in Coventry.
Eu quero desejar muito sucesso a todos.
I would like to everybody to have a wonderful success.
E estamos ansiosos por ver como ficaram e a apresentação dos projetos finais.
How come the final project presentation?
Muito obrigada e muito sucesso.
Thank you, and success for everybody.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Obrigado, professora.
Obrigada.
Obrigada, Jalia.
So, thank you. May I now please invite Yolanda, Dr. Yolanda Steenkamp from the University of Pretoria.
Que vem da Universidade de Pretoria.
Good evening from South Africa.
Boa noite do Sul da África.
It is such a joy, and it has been a great joy for us to think that our alumni of the Masters in Development Practice could participate in this SDG challenge. We're very grateful to Coventry University for inviting us, and very grateful to our alumni for making themselves available. Let me say a brief word about the Masters in Development Program, or the MDP, because I don't think everyone is familiar with it. And then I will introduce the LWC Leadership Institute and the University of Pretoria.
Os líderes da universidade.
The MDP, the MPhil in Development Practice, addresses the global need for development practitioners in government, business, and civil society who understand the complexity of developmental challenges and who have the leadership capacities to design and implement the integrated SDGs. It's a global program, and the University of Pretoria is one of 4 universities who offer the program in Africa. It's a 1-year master's degree, and it uses a hybrid learning approach, introducing participants to the most relevant themes in development theory and practice, uses online, face-to-face learning, leadership service learning, case study methodology, write-up analysis, and it's truly multidisciplinary, drawing from social sciences, health sciences, management sciences, and natural sciences. And then the Masters in Development Practice is housed in the Albert Luthuli Leadership Institute, which itself is housed in the University of Pretoria, which is South Africa's largest residential university. We aim to produce socially impactful research. It's a research-intensive university, and to find solutions that address the challenges of both our country and the continent and the world at large. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this. Looking forward to the presentations, to see what the students have done, and to see solutions for the future as we co-create our tomorrow. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Yolanda. It's really nice.
Obrigado, Yolanda.
It's really nice with your alumni. I have learned a lot from them. They are all experts.
Do que você ensinou.
And we hope they will remain in our network after this event.
E espero que a gente continue com essa rede depois do evento.
Okay. Just to remind everyone that we have...
Só para lembrar todo mundo que nós temos...
we have interpretation, translation happening.
Nós temos uma interpretação acontecendo, uma tradução.
So we might want to talk a bit slower than usual.
Então precisamos falar um pouquinho mais lento do que o usual.
Especially our presenters.
Principalmente os nossos apresentadores, né?
All right.
Okay.
So if may carry on, I'm not sure if...
Posso continuar?
A bit about the event. A
little about the event.
It is themed sustainable cities.
O tema é cidades sustentáveis.
And we ask students to answer the question.
Aos alunos para fazer perguntas.
How can cities effectively prepare for economic shocks?
Como que as cidades podem efetivamente se preparar para perdi a última parte, os choques de alguma coisa?
We have 3 teams.
Nós temos 3 times, 3 equipes.
Team Accra.
O time Accra.
Team Paraná.
A equipe do Paraná.
And Team Coventry.
E o time de Coventry.
We have 4 universities.
Nós temos 4 universidades.
GCTU.
GCT,
Unioeste,
Unioeste,
University of Pretoria,
a Universidade de Pretoria
and Coventry University.
e a Universidade de Coventry.
Our participants from University of Pretoria
Nossos participantes da Universidade de Pretoria
are all experts in sustainability.
são experts em sustentabilidade.
So they acted as mentors to our students.
Então, o ato são mentores para os nossos estudantes.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
So on the screen,
Na tela,
we have the judging criteria.
nós temos aí os critérios de julgamento.
Executive summaries have been submitted already.
Já foram enviadas as tarefas
And they have been assessed.
e eles têm acesso.
We will now go into the live presentations.
Então, agora vamos para as apresentações ao vivo.
And with us, there are judges looking at the presentation.
Então, eu acho que tem o Jorge, que vai fazer a apresentação.
On the screen now is how the executive summary,
Nessa tela, nós temos aqui o resumo.
This was how we, did the marking or scoring.
Isso é como a gente fez o marketing, ou então o placar, né?
And this is what we expect from the students and how their presentations will be scored.
E isso é o que a gente espera dos alunos e como que a apresentação será avaliada.
So we have Professor Gustav.
Nós temos o professor Gustavo,
Professor Carla,
professora Carla,
Dr. Paul Tiong, Dr. Paul,
Dr. Paul, Dr. Paul,
as the people that will look at the presentation and be marking it.
As pessoas que vão estar avaliando e assistindo aí as apresentações.
And from here,
Eu sou daqui.
I will invite Daniel
Vou convidar o Daniel
to select the order of presentation.
para selecionar a ordem da apresentação.
And you will see me or hear me after the presentations.
E vocês vão poder me ver ou me ouvir depois da apresentação.
Okay, here we go.
Aí, aqui vamos nós.
Who is presenting first?
Quem vai apresentar primeiro?
Team Accra.
A equipe
Team
do
Accra, you are presenting first.
Vocês vão apresentar primeiro.
That's Team Parana number 2. And then that leaves us with Team Coventry to be the last. Shall the presentations begin?
O segundo e o Coventry será o último.
So we invite the first presenters to please share their slides and start presenting.
Então, a gente convida o primeiro grupo a fazer a apresentação, mostrar os slides, né?
It's evening in Ghana, so good evening, everyone.
Eu estou em Gana, então boa tarde a todos.
This year's Hackathon Call event has been a very great learning experience for us.
Tem sido uma grande experiência para nós de aprendizagem.
As we are able to connect with colleagues in Brazil,
assim, como a gente consegue essa conexão com os amigos do Brasil.
We shared ideas with our facilitators and picked up
compartilhar ideias.
And picked up a 10 or more on how to tackle projects.
So, realizar os nossos projetos.
Team Accra had amazing individuals who helped achieve this. And then they are Aribe Nabaite, Lillian Souza, Jesse David, Mohamed Umar, myself, Amena Abubakar, and Stephen Ejari.
Ela comentou sobre a equipe dela, quem eram os integrantes.
Okay, so in 2016, the current government of Ghana, as part of their policies, promised to introduce free SHS to the country. Should I
acho que em 2016 eles conseguiram introduzir aí esses ensinamentos em Ghana.
So we already had the free basic education in the country. However, we didn't have the free SHS policy. And upon analysis that was conducted in the country, we realized that the free basic education was able to cater for a lot of kids coming from poor backgrounds. However, they stopped their education after the free basic education. So we tried, the new government tried to extend it such that they will be able to progress to the SHS level. And this was implemented in 2016. This was also done to increase the qualification level of the children in Ghana, not just children, the workforce in Ghana and all. And hopefully, as time goes on in the near future, the plan was to include the universities as well. This initiative was in line with most of the SDG goals, like the quality education, no poverty, gender inequality, and so many more. But we couldn't foresee there being a probability of a pandemic coming in to come and interrupt this policy that has been in place. It was going on smoothly. It was implemented in 2017, but but it came in, the program was running smoothly, but the pandemic came in and caused hikes.
O programa ele estava andando lento.
Yeah, and the free SHS policy is in such a way that we have 2 different batches.
E ela fala sobre as políticas do país, que também dificultaram o trabalho, mas eu não consigo entender direito o sotaque dela.
Okay, that's the gold track and then the green track.
Eu não entendi o choque verde e o choque dourado, alguma coisa assim.
Okay, and this was because we wanted, as one set of students are in school, the other will be at home on vacation, preparing for the next term in school.
Alguma coisa sobre perguntar aos alunos, né, no período que eles ficaram em casa de férias, para depois voltar para a escola.
Yeah, but because of the COVID that occurred in 2020 and in the lockdown, both batches were now at home.
Por causa do lockdown, né, por causa da pandemia, então os alunos estão em casa, né?
Yeah, and it's caused an interruption in the education of both students, both the green and gold track. They couldn't.
Isso causou a interrupção do estudo dos alunos.
Now, because of what happened, we, as a team Accra, we tried to look for a way to help solve this issue and also.
Então nós, no Grupo Accra, a gente tentou solucionar esse problema causado pela pandemia e o fato das crianças e dos alunos estarem em casa.
Yeah, and to solve this issue, as well as help prevent it from reoccurring again in the future, should we have another situation like this?
Para resolver esse problema e é isso. Deixa eu ver o que é.
Okay, so this is why Team Accra decided to develop the project called the Digital Multidisciplinary Educational Platform. Should I go ahead? So there's this popular saying by Antonio that says that education is priceless and its lack has a cost. This saying is basically telling us that once education is ignored, the future consequences are quite huge, hence its priceless nature. An independent study that was conducted by the government of Ghana in conjunction with UNICEF and the United Nations revealed that about 9.2 million students were affected by the pandemic and had to stay at home. Out of this 9.2, the 9.2 million children were between the ages of 5 to 17. Out of these 9.2 million students, 15%, only 15% of them had access to online education, leaving the remaining 85% with no access to online education. Are you going to interpret again, or should I just go ahead?
Go ahead, I'm typing the translation here.
Okay. Thank you. So it was realized that out of the 9.2 million children, only 15% had access to online education and 85% had no access to this online education. And this led to an increase in the dropout rates in our schools, and majority of the students missed out on a whole academic year of the academic calendar. Our project, the DMEP project, is an online platform. It's going to be solely based online. It's an online platform that will be dedicated to educating the school children between the ages of 5 to 17 using videos bi-weekly. The videos will be uploaded bi-weekly onto the platform. Now, selected teachers from GES, that's Ghana Education Service, will be chosen, and then they will be trained on how to record the videos, how to collate the data, and how to host quality videos onto our online platform that will meet our curriculum expectations as a nation and for the children as well. Accessing of the videos will be solely online, and provisions will be made so that students can download and watch them offline as well. We will also partner with GES, that is for the teachers, to get the teachers, selected teachers for this project. And then we'll partner with telecommunications companies in Ghana. Presently, we have partnerships like that with Vodafone and MTN, where they provide subsidized data packages to university students so that they'll be able to access their course material online and then also follow in class as lectures go on. So we are going to partner with them so that they'll extend this package to the basic school children. That's the children between the 5 to 17 age group. Aside that, we are going to partner with universities. Even before the COVID hit us, most universities had the online technical hubs where you could access online books and online materials for your course study. So we are going to partner with them such that we'll host our platform in their online technical hubs so that the students will also be able to go there and be able to access the documents, the videos, and then whatever documents they are supposed to access as well. And then we'll also partner with local libraries in the community in Accra. We have quite a number of libraries in Accra, and most libraries also have their digital areas where you can access books online as well. So we'll partner with them, and then we'll also host our online platform over there so that the children can also go to the libraries and be able to access the books and then the videos as well. The project is a very good one for the economy because it helps to absorb shocks and prevent interruptions in our education if such an unpredictable event should ever occur again. The education will run smoothly as the world is gradually moving towards an internet age, and remote learning is becoming more popular. Most universities had to adopt during the COVID in 2020. So by doing this, we have already gone through it. So by doing this, it won't be difficult. It won't be so difficult to just continue with this remote learning and all that. And as I mentioned earlier, we have two batches. Whilst one batch is in school, the other is at home. So those at home can also access these videos and prepare for their next semester in school so that they will be prepared and know what they are supposed to do, know what they are supposed to learn and all that. Our presentation in a whole relates in conjunction with the government's free SHS policy, helps achieve the global goals, as the global goals are already interrelated. Most of them are already interrelated. So the rate of poverty is reduced as we have more people who have improved educational qualities, and they can therefore be better qualified for jobs in the market. The educational quality of the country, of the city as well, is increased because the kids do not miss out on any educational class or anything, as they can access the videos wherever they are, even if they are home before they go back to school, they can access these videos and prepare for the next term. We will also have enough partnerships with companies, and once the project sets on, we project that in the future. Right now, we are just going with the online platform, but we are projecting that in the future, as the partnership pool increases, more companies will join in, and hopefully we will have partnerships with gadget companies who will be able to provide gadgets to various schools, where we'll be able to save our videos on these gadgets, and then the children will be able to access them even within their schools. The employment pool of the city will also increase, and then the quality of the pool will also increase, which will help the economy and then productivity in the city, as well as make the city very sustainable. The DEMP project the implementation of the DEMP project is quite low because of the partnership nature of the project. The cost of implementation is drastically reduced because of the partnership within the project. Building of the online platform is what will cater for most of the costs, while the rest will be chipped in by the partnering companies. Our economy will also be significantly increased with the improved quality of the workforce pool, as I mentioned earlier. And then the more literates we have in the city, the more our productivity increases as a city, and in turn as a country as a whole. So that because of the increase in literacy and then the increase in productivity and all other factors, the city becomes sustainable. So as I stated in the beginning, the free SHS policy coupled with the free basic school policy affects children between 5 to 17 years. And it's a very great initiative. It's a very great initiative. And then our DEMP projects as well will help improve this policy, especially with the increased number of intake in schools. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. I'd like to throw the question back to you. What do you think about our DEM projects helping the policy of the government to increase the intakes in school and then offer free SHS, free basic school to the free SHS level of schooling? Thank you.
That is very good timing, Amina. Thank you very much. Despite our translation issue at the beginning, it's really good timing. Well done.
Thank you.
So we'll now ask any questions. We'll have 5 minutes to ask Team Accra any questions. We expect questions from our audience and also from other teams. Anyone? Sorry, I can't hear.
Please raise your hand and you would be unmuted. Thank you.
Daniel?
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay, carry on, please, Natalie.
Okay, so this question is to Team Accra. How are you going to deal with the fundamental issues that seem to threaten the successful implementation of your project? I'm talking about with respect to the very remote and poverty-stricken areas. As you know, some parts do not even have access to electricity, or not to talk about internet access to on which this platform is going to be based. How are you going to deal with such problems?
Hello.
Yes, Amina.
Yes, so Natalie, I think we mentioned the partnerships with the universities, the libraries, and then the universities, libraries, the local libraries and the universities. So what we are trying to do is, for now, we are going to host our program, our platform in their digital hubs. Do you get me? In their digital hubs. And we are taking Accra. Accra is the focus here. So wherever the kids are located, they can go into the library and access the videos. They can watch it there and then learn, take their points down and everything. That's why we are looking forward to future partnerships with gadget companies who will be able to supply them with the gadgets needed per school, so that these videos will also be available in their school. But for now, it's going to be available in the libraries, the local libraries, and in the technical hubs of universities. And those who can afford to get them from home will have the subsidized data packages from our partnerships with the telecommunication companies. Is that clear enough, or have I answered?
Yes, Amina, it's clear. But then even in the city of Accra, there are parts that do not have access to these libraries and universities that you're talking about. Most of these libraries and universities are located in the center of the city. I'm talking about those kids who are in the remote areas of the city. How are they going to have access to this?
Okay, so there was also another plan for those who didn't have access to the libraries and the universities to build small technical hubs for them, purposely for this project. So it's just a small hub in the form of a library. It wouldn't be that big. It's just to store our videos there on gadgets that will be already placed there, so that they will be able to go and then watch. You don't necessarily have to get it in your home. You go, you know the way students are, you can just go to the hub, get there, watch your videos according to the grade you are in. You watch the videos allocated to you, then you jot down the points you have to jot down, then you now go back home and then you learn. This is in the initial stages. As it progresses, we hope to add more technical hubs in other vantage areas, and also to get the gadgets partnerships with Samsung and Techno and the rest, so that they'll be able to give them the gadgets in their schools, so that it will be easier instead of traveling to maybe where the technical hubs are.
I think we've got another question in the chat that says, great presentation. Is this a model that could be replicated in any emerging economy?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can be replicated.
Do you want my question, Daniel?
Yes, Simon, please go ahead.
I'll put it in the chat. I'm interested in the politics of the situation. Who as individuals and which parties are the most powerful drivers of this educational project?
Okay, I think I'll answer to that. Yeah, so in Ghana, we have the Ghana Education Service and we have the Ministry of Education. So the Ghana Education Service, together with the Ministry of Education, they actually formulate policies to govern the schools. So currently, our universities are under Ministry of Education, but then the universities also have their own electronic platforms through which they also do these online programs. And everyone in Ghana, or specifically in Accra, would want to educate his or her ward. So if any opportunity of a good option to educate is available, people will easily jump onto it. And the political parties will also enforce it, irrespective of the political side, because each of them would want to score a point when it comes to education, because they realize the citizens of Accra have embraced education very well. And so they all would want to chance on educational issues. For instance, the recent elections Ghana had, both main political parties had manifestos on education. And that proves that, yes, they all would want to support it, as long as it's coming from a private side and the private sector would want to partner with the public. The two parties would embrace it from each angle, from all their angles.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Amina. Thank you, Stephen. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, everyone, for asking questions. And if you have any further questions, please do pop it in the chat box. Maybe they can pick it up and respond to you later. I think we'll now move to the next presentation. Daniel, if you may call the team, please.
We have Team Paraná next. Team Paraná, please take over.
O time do Paraná, então, agora, para a próxima apresentação.
So good evening or good afternoon to our judges, mentors, and colleagues. I am Ana, and Growing Communities is Team Paraná's proposition to prepare cities for economic shocks. I would like to introduce our team members. Pauline from South Africa, Daron, Divine, and Desmond from Ghana, Ana Carolina, Eduardo, Fernanda, and Tayane from Brazil, and Alina from the UK. Also, our mentors who provided us essential guidance, Priscilla, Muziksi, and Godfrey from South Africa. In this presentation, we are going to go through the current context and the main problem we elected to tackle. Then a quick profile of Brazil, of the state of Paraná, and the existing program of urban agriculture in the city of Cascavel. Next, our propositions of a local project in Cascavel and of a global research project to build a framework for urban agriculture programs. Followed by the benefits of urban agriculture for different stakeholders, the key pillars for the framework, as well as the challenges for implementation. Finally, we're going to identify how this proposition can contribute to several sustainable development goals and summarize our key points in a conclusion. The COVID-19 pandemic is disrupting the world with a heavy toll on human lives and economic activities. Its rapid global spread affected millions of people who were already vulnerable to food insecurity, malnutrition, and the effects of other economic issues. This pandemic and economic shocks, in addition to an increase in extreme weather events and natural disasters, impacted deeply on food production, processing, and distribution along the entire food supply chain. According to the World Food Programme, more than 155 million people experienced acute hunger in 2020. As of today, June 7th, at least 871 million people do not have sufficient food consumption. Therefore, this is the main problem our proposition aims to tackle: food insecurity. In Brazil, the COVID-19 pandemic aggravated hunger, unemployment rates, and income loss. With a population of 211 million people, Brazil has 40 million families in extreme poverty and a food insecurity situation. This is more than the entire population of the state of Paraná, 11 million people. The state of Paraná is located in southern Brazil, which you can see in the picture. In 2010, Paraná had a Human Development Index of 0.749, while Brazil's was 0.727. Cascavel, the city of our case study, is located in Western Paraná, as you can see red in the picture, and has a population of 330,000 people. The municipality already has an urban agriculture program that has been having positive results. This local program, which started in 2018, has now more than 300 cultivators and 80 vegetable gardens around the city. The program is regulated by a public policy which guarantees legal, financial, and structural aid for the implementation of the gardens. To add value to this local program, we propose a university community project to empower local leadership within the communities and legally regulate the cultivators. Those issues are not yet addressed by the local program and pose as challenges for the maintenance of the urban farming communities. This would be a training and mentorship project made possible by partnerships between local universities, governments, and other organizations. And the main beneficiaries would be the cultivators that are already part of the urban agricultural program. In 1 year and a budget of $6,500, we pretend to empower leaders from the communities and to insert cultivators in the regular supply chain. This project, however, has limitations on long-term mentorship and training. As a global contribution, we propose the development of a framework for communities worldwide to implement urban agriculture programs, mitigating the food insecurity problem and increase employment and income. The framework will be built through research led by universities and other research organizations, and will be based on key pillars. This research project is estimated to last 1 year and to cost less than $3,000. There are nonetheless limitations in the extent of the applications of this model, of this framework, which will be directly related to the coverage of case studies used and the quality of this research. The key pillars for this framework are a community participatory approach involving the less privileged into decision-making, the adoption of agricultural solutions based on local conditions, resources, and needs, a multi-stakeholder partnership, leadership strengthening, and environmentally and financially self-sustaining urban agricultural systems. This pillar aims to guarantee equitable participation in the decision-making process, which includes public participation in the development of the plan, efforts to increase ongoing public participation in city governance, and a specific outreach to marginalized groups that often are underrepresented in traditional public engagement processes. The challenges for the implementation of the urban agriculture programs are related to the availability and quality of technical assistance, issues around legal regulations and political conflicts, the difficulty of engaging public participation, and the weather and climate risks inherent to any food production activity. Despite that, there are many benefits and financial gains for all stakeholders involved. For instance, the local government may benefit from savings in land skimming and food donations, plus the active use of idle land and urban greening and many other urban gains related to that. The partners involved, such as landowners or private investors, may have discounts on taxes and consolidate a reputation of an environmentally friendly company. However, it is the social gain for the communities that must be highlighted. Besides improved food security and nutrition, urban farming creates opportunities for youth, women, the elderly, and the disabled, complements family income, builds community cohesion, and improves mental and physical health, as well as environmental education. In the case of Cascavel, our project that aims to regulate the cultivators will grant access to credit and many social benefits, such as retirement and the opportunity to sell to the government in the national school food scheme. These are some of the many benefits of urban agriculture, all aligned with the targets of the SDGs. Thus, our proposition contributes to goal number 1, end poverty, as it improves income and inserts families into the social security systems. It is deeply related to the goal of ending hunger, achieving food security and improved nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture. Urban farming brings many health benefits for the cultivators, and it can contribute to strengthening the prevention and treatment of substance abuse, for example, which is target number 5 from the SDG number 3. Also, it's a learning opportunity of improving technical skills and entrepreneurship. It empowers minorities and reduces inequalities, creating jobs for the less privileged, inserting women in the productive dynamic and ensuring gender equality. It's an opportunity for decent work and economic growth, improves sustainable consumption and production patterns, and supports positive economic, social, and environmental links between urban, peri-urban, and rural areas by strengthening regional development planning. It takes action on climate change since it reduces food miles by producing fresh food close to urban markets, reduces fertilizer use and energy consumption by productive reuse of urban organic wastes, enhances carbon sequestration, and supports effective land management and soil restoration. It also keeps zones free from construction so that floods have less impact and stormwater runoff is reduced. This links to SDG 6 as well, as it increases water use efficiency, reduces pollution, and helps in the restoration of water-related ecosystems. Furthermore, our key pillars promote effective public, private, and civil society partnerships through multi-stakeholder approach. To conclude, the economic shock created with the advent of COVID-19 has multiplied the need for resilience and sustainability in cities. According to the Rockefeller Foundation, resilience is the capacity of cities to function so that people living and working in cities, particularly the poor and the vulnerable, survive and thrive no matter what stresses and shocks they encounter. Building urban resilience is crucial to avoid human, social, and economic losses. Acting sustainably involves building cities where all citizens live a decent quality of life and form a part of the city's productive dynamic, creating shared prosperity and social stability without harming the environment. Therefore, our proposition addresses the question, how can cities effectively prepare for economic shocks? Considering that for many families, the economic crisis impacts deeply on food security and thereafter on human dignity. It also addresses the justice, equity, and climate change perspectives, either because the goal is to ensure that the residents most burdened by environmental injustice, economic shocks, and stresses are leading the charge, or because of the many benefits urban agriculture brings to the people and the environment. Oh, well, those are our references, and we're open to questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you for the presentation, and to everyone else that has worked on this presentation. We are now opening the floor to some questions from our audience and also from the participants of other groups. So please do feel free to ask your questions, and if you can also help me, Daniel, monitor the chat room if there is any question right now. Questions, everyone?
Yes, we've got Mohammed. Mohammed, please unmute yourself.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks for your presentation. I really learned a lot. I have a question, and I believe that climate change is certainly having a negative influence on food prices and food security. And I'm sure in some of the country, especially in your country, during the pandemic, I'm sure you noticed that a lot of food spike up in terms of prices. So my question is how this project is going to tackle the issue of climate change to prevent further shock of shortage of food and accessible of basic food to the less privileged ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohamed. O Mohamed perguntou como que a gente pode, né, garantir que esse projeto possa apoiar na questão da mudança climática, especialmente em relação a ver esses alimentos mesmo no momento de crise, né, e de alta de preços, por exemplo. Então, como que a gente pode fazer isso? And of course, everybody from the team, if you wish to put your input on the question, but I think that one of the things that helps is that we're going to have shorter supply chains. So those problems that may be related to logistics, plus the climate change and the loss of production that happens sometimes, it may be mitigated by the shorter supply chains. And most of the people that are doing urban agriculture here in our city, Cascavel, they are using it for self-consumption. So they have that possibility, that dietary diversification, and they have some guarantees that they will have food to actually eat. But of course, there needs to be structure so these families and these groups, they can save the production if there is any climate or weather problems that may be a threat to that production. And that's probably the part of the partners that need to provide structure so those families or communities can be able to handle this. Yeah. Is there anything else to this question group?
Thank you for answering, Anna. And yeah, I'll echo you as well. Does any member, do you have anything to add more, or we should go to the next question? There's a question in the chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So the question is from Yolanda. Hi, Yolanda. So it says, have you encountered anything in the literature regarding social stigma related to food production? And then it says that people avoid growing their own food or participating in such initiatives due to social shaming, being perceived as too poor to buy food. If this is relevant, how would you mitigate this?
I think that from our case study here in Cascavel, this is being a great opportunity for communities. So they are so vulnerable and maybe so poor that they are not affected by that stigma. But I think that is relevant, and I think that in different communities, it's going to have that stigma, and maybe people won't participate because of that. And that's the challenge of public participation, because as reported to us for the people that are working on the urban agriculture program here, they say it's hard to build cohesive groups that really keep going with the production, and that they don't give up, and this sort of thing. So I'm sure it's a challenge. I think that it's something that we need to change culturally, and I think that empowering leadership is something that may help to change that, to make a shift of this cultural perception, I guess.
Okay, thank you for that answer. I hope you received a good response, Yolanda. And there is another question again in the chat room that says, one of the harder issues of community agriculture in deprived communities is the lack of importance from some local governments, as well as the discontinuity of their political agenda. How do you believe it will be a key argument to overcome this reality in the city of Cascavel?
So there is already this program going on here in Cascavel, and it's a law. It's a city law. There is a public policy that guarantees actually public funds, public investment for the program, for the urban agriculture program. And this is one of the key pillars for the framework that we'd like to propose, because it kind of protects the urban agriculture program from shifts or discontinuity on the political agendas according to change of government or anything. So that's something important, to have the legal structure that makes it keep going. And as well, there needs to be this I don't know, desire as a city to keep going and to plan and grow and develop in a sustainable way. So it needs to be to have a very strong leadership in the communities, but in the government or the authorities as well, because it all goes together. It all I think it's another piece of the puzzle that it's quite important to consider. I know it's going to change in different localities, but it's something to work on, and the framework should be able to provide a few suggestions or ways of achieving it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anna. Well done to all of you in the team. If no one is saying anything or adding anything more to what Anna has said, we would like to then move to the next team. But please feel free to pop anything in the chat room, and we can pick up the questions and send them across to the students, and they can still provide you feedback, because some of them are actually studying in these fields. Thank you.
There was a question actually in the. Do we have time for that?
Okay.
Tony, from
more.
Tony. Tony, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, really sorry. It's just going to be a very short one. I was just wondering, because you spoke a little bit about public funding, and I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the will from the government, which tends to change when the governments change. That leaves the question as to, okay, what other financing models could work? Maybe some public-private partnerships, but anything local, any other that are more local to Brazil that can work to encourage financing?
Okay, Tony, I think you're breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure if Anna heard you, but you broke up from my end. But if I'm correct, you are talking about other ways of funding, such as public partnership, is it private-public partnership, PPP, or public? Is that what you're saying, Tony?
Yes. Sorry if I was breaking up, but I was just looking to understand if there are alternative financing models that can apply.
Okay.
I think there's the possibility of public and private partnership. There is as well in the local program. There is a partnership with Itaipu, which is the hydroelectrical power plant near Cascavel. It's the biggest in Brazil. So they actually fund sustainable projects all over the state, and they are funding this project as well. So this type of partners, maybe big companies or other multinational companies that wish to use their responsible cooperative funds to invest on this type of project, maybe a way of funding it. And it's important to really show the gains for all the stakeholders and the impact that such a project can do on the community. So that's why we agreed such a strong proposition, and could be very interesting to have as many partners or investors as possible. And I think private funding could work very well to help it and make it structure it, because the initial idea is to structure the vegetable gardens, for example, and then in the long term, the communities can actually self-sustain it, either financially, either environmentally. So they use all the residues, the waste, and they harvest water and everything with the most sustainable solutions possible and feasible for that reality. So yeah, I think that's it. Not sure if I addressed your question.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna, Carolina. And thank you for the presentation, Team Parana. We will now invite the next team. Daniel, please go ahead.
We've got Team Coventry. Team Coventry, please, may you take the floor.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon and good evening to everyone. My name is Natalie Abna Edu, and I'm a student from GCTU and a member of Team Coventry for the SDG Challenge 2021 collaborative project on sustainable cities with the team. How can cities effectively prepare for economic shocks? So for this presentation, Team Coventry is made up of students from GCTU and Parana. We have Kofi Adomako and George Emisa from GCTU Ghana, and Jessiara Garcia, Gustavo Moreira, and Brenda Lima from Parana, and of course myself, Natalie, from GCTU. We also had support from our translator, Elia Jacobs, and our mentors. So the SDG Challenge 2021, as we all know, is a collaborative project with international partners with the team Sustainable Cities. And I think the organizers couldn't have come up with a more relevant theme for this year's project, considering the devastating impact of COVID-19. With participants from different universities and disciplines, we explore the real issues related to the United Nations SDGs. The objectives for this project, first of all, is to identify the reasons for economic shocks in Coventry. Then secondly, propose ways to effectively deal with these economic shocks, thus making Coventry a sustainable city and achieve SDGs. Shall we delve into our problem now? So Coventry, like many cities, suffered economic shocks as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Coventry showed a decline of about 36% in the economic output, according to an estimation from the Center of Progressive Policy. Now, the question is, how can cities like Coventry effectively prepare for economic shocks? In order to answer this question, after a series of research and discussions, as well as learnings from a meeting with the Coventry City Council, we developed a SWOT analysis of Coventry to assist us have a comprehensive view of the situation at hand and propose a realistic, fact-based and data-driven solution to assist Coventry build a resilient and sustainable economy which can withstand shocks from future economic crises. The analysis showed that Coventry's award of UK City of Culture 2021 and its accompanying funding, as well as its many facets to the city, connectivity to London and museums are some of the strengths that Coventry has. There are opportunities, however, to further develop their cultural and tourism heritage through the hosting of the 2022 Commonwealth Games and other sporting events. They also have a good student population, to train and conduct sustainability and development related research, as well as opportunities in the digital space to help boost its economy. Some of the weaknesses identified were lack of awareness of tourism offers available, limited quality accommodation stock, weak digital presence, lack of business engagement, wayfinding and signage, as well as low skilled population. And with respect to the threat, Coventry, with respect to the threat identified, we have the not building the city of cultural legacy, negativity towards current tourism promotion, and issues with long-term funding, as well as complexity of regional delivery structure. Now, how are we going to capitalize on these opportunities and turn them into strengths whilst working to overcome their weakness and eliminate their threats? Our proposed solution is to use a digital platform, education and upskilling, as well as designing and implementing pro-cultural and sustainability policies to help capitalize on these opportunities whilst turning them into strength and working to overcome their weaknesses and eliminating their threats. These proposed solutions are also focused on the achievement of SDG targets 11A, 11.4, and 11.5, that is protecting the world's culture and heritage, reducing the adverse effects of natural disasters, and strong national and regional development planning, respectively. With respect to the use of digital platforms to make Coventry sustainable, one of the main setbacks in the tourism industry with the onset of COVID was the social restrictions which prevented human gatherings and limited movement of people, especially across countries, towns, and cities, as well as financial hardships due to layoffs and collapse of businesses. The introduction of virtual tours with tour guides will help keep the tourism industry vibrant without flouting any of the COVID restrictions. These virtual tours will also provide a more affordable tourism experience for tourists who may not be able to afford the whole traveling and tourism cost even after the COVID restrictions have been lifted. These virtual tours will also afford Coventry a more environmentally friendly and sustainable tourism industry, as carbon footprint will be reduced due to reduced transportation, and pollution of tourist sites by tourists will also be reduced significantly. There will also be creation and sustenance of employment for the virtual tour guides, as their business dependency on external risk factors will also be reduced. Incorporation of online shops with these virtual tours will help boost the local economy, as digital marketing will help expand their customer base. There will also be increase in employment along the supply chain, which will support the online shopping business. Another aspect of the digital platform will be to host live science and art festivals, carnivals, and concerts, which will help showcase the art and science as well as cultural aspects of Coventry to the world. This initiative will help promote the local science and art industry and open it up for future investment and expansion, as the live streaming of these events will help showcase Coventry on a global platform and increase revenues from these events. It will also encourage local participation on a global stage. The invention of online interactive digital assistants will help ease the struggles of tourists and make tourism in Coventry more attractive. It will also use information from frequently asked questions, interest of tourists, and demographics of these tourists to help build an industry which is best suited for their client base. The digital channels will feature programs run and produced by the locals of Coventry to showcase Coventry, raise awareness of the cultural and tourism potentials of Coventry, as well as opportunities for investment. Finally, to bring all this together, we'll set up social media platforms which will help advertise upcoming cultural and tourism events, promotions, and opportunities available. It will also be used to solicit ideas and opinions through polls, etc., on how to improve the cultural, tourism, and related industry. Research has shown that the economic shocks were significant and disproportionately affected low-skilled workers and low-income households, regardless of whether or not they were affected by the virus. In order to safeguard against this weakness and threat in the future, our second proposal is to improve on the education and upskilling of people in Coventry. Luckily, Coventry has all the different levels of educational facilities. The focus will be to provide sponsorship for cultural and sustainability improvement related studies. This will not only help train and educate residents to contribute meaningfully to the development of Coventry, but also attract brilliant minds from all over the world to conduct edge-cutting research aimed at building a socially, economically, environmentally, and culturally sustainable city. Secondly, the rollout and implementation of training and empowerment programs for local entrepreneurs will help equip these entrepreneurs with modern tools and ways of conducting business in order to give them a competitive advantage to help them thrive in their industry. Some of these trainings will also cover the use of digital innovation and transformation to do business, as well as other managerial skills to help propel their businesses to the next level. Finally, no project or initiative, you will agree with me, will be successful without the backing of the local or regional authorities. Thus, our final proposal is purposed to back the first two and ensure their implementation. First of all, policies to help protect local businesses from foreign competition will be put in place. These policies will help ensure that certain aspects of the local economy are protected from foreign infiltration while ensuring these local businesses, one, have easy access to funding and resources needed to function. There should also be policies to help create and strengthen the insurance scheme of local businesses to cushion them in terms of crisis. Secondly, in order to build a sustainable economy, it is prudent to put in place sustainability-friendly policies, such as incentive schemes for companies with SDG-focused strategies. Again, external sources of investment must be focused on sustainably developing the local economy. Okay, so now, what are the expected results we hope to achieve with these proposals? Based on our focused SDG target, we are hoping to achieve with respect to SDG target 11.4, enhanced cultural and tourism experience, expansion of tourism markets, and making Coventry a model UK tourism destination. With respect to target 11.5, we hope to upskill the local population for local economic development, gain local economic development through local participation, and achieve evidence-based solutions due to strong research community. And then finally, with target 11.8, attain sustainable social, economic, and cultural development, as well as sustainable industrial development. Other goals that will be addressed through this proposal are goal number 8, that is creating decent work and economic growth. Goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Of course, goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities, as well as goal 13, climate action, and finally, goal 17, partnerships for goals. The limitations, some of the foreseeable limitations with respect to the project implementation are: 1, raising awareness and empowering the local community through massive open online courses. Secondly, availability of resources and infrastructure needed for the implementation of the digital transformation. And thirdly, willingness of the local business to adapt to digital platforms. Some of the challenges we faced while working on this project were: 1, COVID restrictions, which limited active participation of all team members, as well as language barriers, which restricted free communication between team members. The next slide shows the list of some of the references used during the project. Thank you so much. We will now take your questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Natalie, and well done to everyone in the team. We're now ready for questions, please, for Team Coventry, questions from audience and also questions from participants of other teams. Okay.
Coventry relies the economics on the what we can say an almost all-centered mechanical tools and auto machine industry, and these industries seem to be non-disruptive and faded away in the past decades. This movement took the prosperity windows, like I used to say, down. And the city once was also recognized in the near past as one of the most violent cities in the UK. Of course, now with some major movement from the local society, this framework changed And I believe the challenge is how do we address the vibrant, heritage ones that was part of the Coventry to this very fast and dynamic environment in terms of economics. We have faced major problems here in Brazil with cities that had the same profile of industrialization than Coventry. And we saw what happened also in US with the cities that rely, just like Detroit, for example, but there are different ones. The economy centered in these mechanical tools, auto machine industry, and how it's very hard to overlook prosperity after a period where your investments just came down and the city almost vanished with the industry collapse, and how you believe in the group that we can build the bridges, especially from the higher education institution, with this redesign and redevelopment, as I rather say, prefer to say, of Coventry. What will be the most appropriate mood to invest in a city in these days, especially because we have faced a pandemic that is still ongoing. And this pandemic changed completely the consumer journey, and probably all the industries will have to prepare to a new consumer journey, and no matter what kind of product or service it will be sell. But how the group foresee with a project like this that can integrate in a building bridges or a call to action approach the higher education institutions in Coventry and in the surroundings.
In Coventry?
Julia, can you please summarize his question for me?
Well, he's talking about, how Coventry used to be vibrant in terms of manufacturing, and then that eventually sort of disappears. And he's asking if that can sort of be revived, if that's my understanding, because they have a similar case in Brazil as well. Is that clear? Did I summarize it well?
Yeah. Okay, so
okay.
So if you notice, our second and third proposals were not only focused at building the cultural city or the cultural and heritage aspect of Coventry, but also to help with other industries, in that for an industry to collapse, it could be that the policies were bad, there wasn't enough investment, or the business was no longer attractive. Now, with good education and research into how to keep these companies afloat and how to keep them vibrant during economic crisis, they will be better prepared to cushion themselves in terms when these crises hit. And also with sustainable investment and sustainable initiatives, like having sustainable sorry, the word escaped me. Having sustainable insurance policies and other initiatives to fall back on in terms of crisis, these companies will be able to bounce back from dormancy. Also, whatever that they were doing before the collapse, there needs to be a proper assessment on what happened, and this can be made possible with data-based research and proper investigation into what caused them to fall, so that in the next crisis, they'll be better prepared to pushing themselves. And also with policies that will help sustain these industries. For example, so better policies will help sustain these industries from collapsing. For example, they should have backup funding. They should have backup initiatives in case some part of their production or some parts of their operations are affected in one way or the other. Please, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, I think you have tried. There's an adjoining question to that, which is, do you see the higher education, the institutions we have in Coventry sort of contributing to that? What role would these institutions play in reviving, the city back to its former glory?
Okay, so the role of the higher institutions, the higher educational institutions mainly is in areas of research and implementation of edge-cutting innovations to help revive these institutions that are collapsing or that have collapsed. In that now the world is moving to a digital age and everything is moving so fast. So without constant learning and constant upgrading of what we know or our knowledge about how the world is running and how these industries are surviving, it will be very difficult to catch up with the rest of the world. And we also mentioned that these universities will not only be focused on the residents of Coventry, but then with the sponsorship opportunities available, they will have brilliant minds from other parts of the world to all come together and bring their ideas on how to make the city survive and how to prevent these industries from collapsing.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've received a question from the audience. Do we have any question from Team Paraná or Team Accra members?
Alguém do time Paraná e Acra tem alguma pergunta a fazer?
Or any other question from the public, from the audience?
Ou qualquer outra pergunta do público?
Okay, we have a comment in the chat.
Temos um comentário no chat.
From Jose, I think it says, this Team Coventry working output shall be presented to the city mayor and authorities. Okay, thanks for that comment.
No caso, pode comentar ainda?
Agnes has raised her hand.
Yeah, we've got Agnes' hand up. Agnes, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Excellent presentation, by the way, and very, very insightful. You guys did a great research. And as a social entrepreneur, because I'm also working on the tourism sector and trying to promote my country, Equatorial Guinea, and I think this proposal is really, really good and looks quite feasible. But I was thinking, initially, for someone that's not gonna or cannot guarantee that the government will approve the initial proposal, what strategies would you recommend to start as part of this transition into a more sustainable tourism industry, but also an economy that could also benefit from that?
Okay, so with respect to government accepting your proposal or any proposal for that matter, one thing I've come to learn is that governments are reluctant to invest in their money in anything if they kind of or sort of do not know how it is going to benefit them. One way that you can address this, first of all, now we have the power or the beauty of social media. You can start small in your own way by advertising some of these tourist site or cultural, some of the things that are interesting about your tourism industry to the rest of the world. Start with that and then partner with other countries around your country, like the way the Schengen countries, I hope I'm saying it right, okay, so that will be Europe, how they have interconnected tourism experience for people. So for example, you visit Europe, you go to France, you go to maybe Belgium, they have these interconnected programs. So you can actually join forces with other countries or other cities around you who also have these tourism sites and have a more sustainable or a more vibrant tourism industry than yours to help invite or introduce people to your tourism industry. Now, once you have started and there has been some prospect or some information about how well your industry is going to grow or is going to, quote unquote, profit the government, now you can go with them to your proposal, having already done some background work on how it is going to benefit the country and how it is going to benefit the government in totality.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answer. If there are any more questions or comments, please pop them in the chat box and we can collect them and share with the team later. Or you can even send emails to us if you want them to elaborate on anything, and we'll get in contact, get in touch with them. Daniel is now going to send the judges away, and that will be Professor Carla, Professor Gustavo, Dr. Paul, and I will be joining them just to observe. And we will come back with the final results. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jalaya. Okay, thank you everybody for your participation so far. I'm still seeing some questions coming through the chat room. Please feel free to still keep posting, and could the presenters respond to those questions? So if it's with regards to Team Accra, Team Parana, Team Coventry, please make it specific to the teams so that you get responses there. So thank you very much, everybody. I am now going to send the judges to the breaker room. Before the judges go, one comment I might say, we are all going to, I know everybody has done a wonderful presentation, but we are going to now make a decision in your teams. You know what went right with the team's presentation, so we are going to judge them before we get the final verdict. Okay, so have that in mind. We are going to then probably come up with a proposed plan. Who do you think is the first? Who do you think came second? Who do you think came third? Remember, everybody here is a winner, but still we need a winning team. Okay, so I'm just going to open the breakout room for the judges. You would see this come on your screen, and kindly join that room. Okay, so it's only the judges now. The rest of you, you are going to be here. I'm sure by now I've already seen the judges go. And I'm going to co-host this part of this, the activities with, I've got Federica. Federica, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Federica. Could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, hi, everyone. I'm Federica, and I work at Coventry University as the project assistant for COIL projects. And today I'm assisting at this specific COIL project. And I want to thank Daniel, Jalia, and all the colleagues from IFA who invited me. Thanks.
Excellent. Do we have Anna here? Anna Rita? Anna? Could you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Please, could you introduce yourself to everyone as well? It's really a delight to have you here.
Yeah, so my name is Ana Rita, and I'll be an interpreter. I'm Portuguese, and I'm here to support you if you need in any of the translation interpretation. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do first and foremost is that we are going to basically start with a survey. We want to capture, okay, very interesting. We want to capture how many people feel connected to a particular SDG goal. Okay, so you would see in the chat room a link that I'm going to put straight away, and I'd like you to go on there, click on the link, and then just let us know which sustainable development goal you are more attached to. So that will come through the chat room very shortly. And I'd like you to use the reactions. If you've got it, please react to it for me. Let me know that everybody have got hung of the link now and is able to connect to excellent. Excellent, I can see it. Can I see a bit more thumbs up? Great. All right, so I'd like you to click on it, and could you kindly fill that in for us very quickly? So you would see that it will be asking you about your gender, and then also the next step. It's only two questions for you to do. And I would really want to capture this to know which one you feel more connected to as well. Thank you very much for that. Okay, somebody said I can't see the link, so I'm going to repost it. So my co-host will be helping out with this. Rita, do you want to translate this?
Yes, sure. 1 second. Então, a primeira pergunta é qual é o teu género, feminino, masculino, ou prefiro não dizer?
If you're finished, please just tell us that you're done, or give us a thumbs up again if you're finished, you've managed to do it. Excellent. Let's get some communication going. Whilst we're doing that, remember, we are still judging. We are all judges today. We are all allocating a mark to a group and say that this group won. Is it Team Coventry? Is it Team Accra? Is it Team Parana? I believe all the teams did exclusively well, but we would like to really know your views about what they actually proposed to you, how sustainable they felt that their cities were. So it'll be interesting really to put it through the chat. Please put it through the chat. Let us know which team do you feel won here. Okay, let's just get some reactions. I know you might be a little bit cautious to do that, but just a feel of what you think that the team did. Okay, so which team is number one? Let's see what people think. Thank you for the confirmation there. Oh, Ari Ben says Team Accra. Yeah, it's coming through. We are still collating all those that are picking up who won. So please let it flow through the chat room. We want to know. Team Coventry. Okay, so we've got some Accra. Okay. Oh, all right. It depends how you want to really use your adjectives there, okay, about the team, how well they did. So incredibly good, fantastic. You feel that they should take the crown today, okay? So please let it flow. Just tell us what you think about the presentations that you did. Federica, if you can monitor the chat and just tell me, who do you think is winning right now? Which team is actually winning?
Well, I have to count, but
yeah,
apparently
it is a good
balanced.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's quite balanced.
So let's see how many commentaries are coming here. Okay, exceptionally good Team Accra education. Oh, brilliant. Look at it. It's just flowing through. Natalie just put, that probably is not fair, Natalie. Excellent, excellent. All right, so we can see some wonderful projects going on. I believe that the city councils should really hear this, because your proposals are really transformational and the city should be embarking on this. Really, really, really good.
But
okay.
Taking a look, Daniel, I have to be honest, apart from the double typing, I think it's quite balanced.
Oh, I hear it is quite balanced.
No, I mean, in terms of counting, the quality is exceptional, but I'm saying in terms of counting, because this is not Eurovision, so you can only vote once. I think that everybody is expressing appreciation for each presentation.
Each presentation, yes, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate the honesty that is coming through the chats as well. I really appreciate the honesty. So I like Jose's, that's my exact feeling there. All right, that's good. That is a bit of an attachment there, which I like it. Education is the country's future. So it's really wonderful to hear these comments. Now, what next we're going to be doing is a quick icebreaker. So I'm going to share a link with you in the chat. You are going to be doing a little bit of a typing on the screen, and I'm going to share my screen as well. So let me post that. Hopefully everybody should be able to capture this in the chat. Okay, this is a Padlet. Okay, food is a basic need. Excellent. I've seen a thumbs up that I can see. If you can see, please, if you're on camera, a thumbs up or just use a reaction. Excellent. All right, so if you can click on it, I'm going to share my screen quickly with everybody. Excellent. All right, what is the one thing you would take to a desert land? Ooh, that is an interesting one. What is the one thing you would take to a desert land? Excellent.
Thank you. Chariots of Fire. Okay, Chariots of Fire sound, it's a must. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Okay, I have the results on my hand. And let me say, it was a delight to be here. Well, I would like to thank my wife, my mom, and we had what's in office. We had a first team with 88, okay? A second team with 83, and the third team got 80. So, as I was thinking, it goes head by head, okay? And I'm delighted, I am really delighted to tell you that the Oscar goes to, and now the connection fails, Team Parana. Team Parana is the winner.
Oh.
Very good job, guys. Very good job. Very good jobs, all the teams.
And congratulations, everyone. So you received comments because all the judges provided comments for the summary and comments for all for the presentation. But I just want to let you know that Professor staff gave
Yes.
100%.
That's how excited you felt about it. Excellent.
Yes, but everyone is the winner. Congratulations in Parana, congratulations in Coventry, congratulations in but again, we need
Yes. Everyone, congratulations to everyone who worked on this challenge. Everyone. The organization team was perfect, mentors perfect, judges perfect, and I would like to say a warm, I'm delighted, I am really surprised, intrigued by all the projects proposed. All of them is very good. All of them are pretty suitable. So I really demand, I really triggers the proposers. Go to civil society, go to the major, go to the representatives' house and show them what you did. And as a member of the network, I would say we will be really happy if you join us and say, hey, we have this project right now. Let's put it into action. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Professor Gustav.
My delight, Jalia, my absolutely delight.
Thank you. Well, Daniel is on to you again.
Okay, so I would just like to share my few thoughts throughout the project. It has been an absolute pleasure to deal with your teams. I know you've all worked extremely hard within your teams, trying to meet with your local governments as well and your networks. And I know particularly with some of your teams, you had been doing meetings almost every day just to ensure that this was a success. So I would really, with a round of applause, shall we applaud our participants and also our project leaders for this excellent job that you have done. So quickly, I would like to really say a big thank you to GCTU, the leaders from Ghana, for partaking in this project with us. So particularly, we've got Dr. Gertrude and Mr. Kweku, who you've been really effortless. You've been working so much behind the scenes and ensuring that we had students that would again join this project. So thank you very much. The next thanks really goes to the winning team, Team Parana. Team Parana. Thank you so much, Professor Irene, and also Professor Gustavo from Brazil, all the way from Brazil. Okay, Unioeste. Team Parana, well done, and thank you for your support for making this also a success. And then the next one goes to, obviously, the mentors, those that provided us with the mentors. These are really excellent mentors who have got industry expertise. And you could see the comment that was coming through in the chat rooms, and the support that they gave the teams that we saw was excellent. And so from South Africa, Pretoria, we would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Reyes and also Dr. Yolande. Thank you. If you're here still in the chat, we really want to say a big thank you for your support for this project. And obviously, I'm not going to forget Jalaya. Round of applause for Jalaya. Jalaya, you have been incredible and you've been very supportive. I know that you've been chatting a lot as well as sending emails, multiple emails. We can't forget you. Your hard work has brought us this far. So well done. Well done. Really appreciate your support there. And also, our associate head for global engagement, Tony, who has been really supportive of this project as well. And I'm sure that we will go a long way to be connecting with our cities and as well making our cities particularly more sustainable than they are now. Thank you very much. And that is everything from me and from everyone. A round of applause for you all again. Thank you very much for coming along.